Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and today I'm in Darlaston, more specifically Darlaston Town Centre, and I'm here just to have a look around the retail area, see what it looks like today compared with what it used to be back in the 70s. I'm going to start my walk here in Crescent Road, and then we'll go along Crescent Road, along Victoria Street, up Church Street, round the back of some of the roads up there, and then come down King Street where some of the main shops are, including ASDA. So let's see what we can find around Darlaston Town Centre. The reason I wanted to start here in Crescent Road was simply because there was a cinema that used to be here, a cinema called the Picturedrome. And it was situated here where this car park is. It was built in 1911, quite successful for a time, but eventually it faced demolition in the 60s. But the last film shown at the Picturedrome was in 1959. It was known locally as the Drome, but by 1963 it was being demolished, and so in its place we have this lovely little car park. And one small nod or memorial to the Picturedrome was the fact that the council has decided to name this little service road which connects this part to King Street is called Picturedrome Way. Picturedrome Way, of course, named after the picture house itself, and as far as I'm aware, it's the only known street in the Black Country that's named after a cinema. And it's now a walkway, a pathway now, but it used to be the railway line that was a loop line from Wensbury to Darlaston up to Jamesbridge Station, and then I think it went into Walsall. It was part of the London and North Western Railway line. Darlaston, I think, had its own railway station, but I think it was down Darlaston Road, which is behind me. And they'd also had a railway station up at Jamesbridge. But this was quite a popular railway line for a time. It was passenger based and freight based. Passengers used it a lot, but it was the tram cars that successfully killed off passenger traffic on that line, funny enough, and that was way back in 1887 when the station here in Darlaston closed. But freight carried on until the line itself was lifted in 1970. Yeah, we've got a couple of old houses, few old houses I should say, just along here. One of them there is called the Walsall Family Hub. I'm surprised it's not been turned into flats. These old houses are mostly turned into flats these days. We usually have around 25 letterboxes on the front. And here now we have a Grade 2 listed building, which is the old police station. No longer the police station. It closed in 2018, but the police station was built in here around 1895, and you can see the word police station just above the arched door if you zoom in. Yeah, so the interior can be turned into flats, but the exterior has to stay more or less as it was built, as it's Grade 2. Even though this police building has now been empty since 2018, there still hasn't been any takers to turn it into flats. It is Grade 2 listed, so the facade can't be changed in any way, but it can be extended at the rear, and inside internally can be changed into flats. To my right there was an house on these grounds called Darlaston House, owned by some industrialists, and they decided to give their land over, which belonged to the house, to the people of Darlaston to create a park. We'll have a quick look in there in a bit. And it was opened in 1902. They tried to open it in time for the Queen Victoria Jubilee, but for whatever reason it didn't. But yeah, this was called Victoria Park originally in 1902, which I haven't a clue what on earth is going on here, but in 1897 or thereabouts they had their own fire station here in Darlaston, and you can see it's in a very, very poor state of disrepair now. In front of me, where the green board was, there was a large gate for the engine. Well, it was originally in 1897 a horse, say, would pull a hand pump, which they would take to fires in this area, and usually manned by about half a dozen firemen. And that's the building. It was about 1920 when they first had their first motorised vehicle, for tackling fires. This is part of Darlaston's heritage, this one, and this is what we mean by trying to save important buildings of historical value, and I would say that is of historical value. It's Darlaston's first ever fire station, and there's no roof on it. All the woodwork is now exposed, and I think at the back of the building was also something to do with the fire station as well. But no, it's falling down. Show you the Victoria Park that was opened in 1902. It's not a very big park. It's more or less what you'd call green space. But just here there used to be a notice board telling you what was going on in the park and Sandwell as a whole, but nothing there now. There's plenty of benches to sit around in here. But what made it significant, this particular piece of Greenland, was the fact that just here there was a bandstand. Yeah, Darlaston Victoria Park had its very own bandstand, but now it looks like it's a Christmas tree. But it was a very fancy bandstand. Probably quite used a lot back then, but not sure when it was taken down. But as you know, all the bandstands in the Black Country parks all get pulled down, and the odd one or two bandstands that still remain. I think Brunswick Park in Wensbury's got one. Dartmouth Park's got one. They never get used. Let's quickly take you along this bit. Just again, you can see the cutting there where the old railway line used to run towards James Bridge and Walsall. James Bridge had its own railway station, and I'll just show you another sculpture of sorts here in this park, and it's something to do with a forge or a hammer press or something, but this used to be the original place where the fountain, it was like a bird table, a large bird table, but that's where the fountain used to stand, because parks, when they're in the Victorian time, they would always have a bandstand and a fountain, and bowling greens as well, and in some instances they have tennis courts when they first opened. Okay, we'll leave this park now, and I don't know what date it was, but it's not Victoria Park any longer. It's called Darlaston Park, and Victoria Park, I'll show you where that is now. It's over here, just ahead of me. They've created a war memorial to mark the restoration and renewal of Darlaston War Memorial and the Sensory Garden for the Visually Impaired, Spring 2004. English Heritage. There's the War Memorial. This was built around about 1925. This piece of land, what is now called Victoria Park, used to be land belonging to the Nurses Institute, I don't know what the Nurses Institute used to do. Just here they've created a play area. It's about a couple of acres. Is it a couple of acres, you'd say? It's not particularly big for a park. Okay, so this Victoria Road, there's Darlaston Park just over there. If you walk up this one, this is called Rectory Avenue, and at the end the buildings that used to belong to the Nurses Institute were just at the end of this road on the right. There's a bit of scaffolding work going on there at the moment. Just on the corner of Victoria Road and Rectory Road, you've got the post office. That's been there since about 1912. And on my left now we've got the town hall, built in 1887. I'm not sure what kind of civic duties are carried out here any longer. I would imagine that a lot of decision making now is based at Walsall. It does open from time to time, but this looks like it's not open today. When it was originally created, this building, it was for a large hall, meeting hall. I think they still use the meeting hall. There was a library here, but the library's now, the Darlaston's got their own library now, just at the bottom end of King Street. As you can see, this stone was laid in 1887, the Jubilee year of Queen Victoria. We've got the Swan pub. That's still a pub. A lot of the pubs in Darlaston were built mainly in the middle of the 19th century. There's Mallows Close, a fairly new road. The landlord of this pub, the Swan, he used to be a butcher, and he used to slaughter pigs in the backyard of this pub, and used to hang the carcasses up on hooks in one of the rooms. Apparently that room with the hooks still exists. Fine old building here on the corner of Church Street. As Church Street now turns to the right up there, we'll go and have a look at that. There's King Street down there. This is a pizza takeaway. We've got a building here called the Old Bank. The Old Bank Innovation Centre. Now, I'm not 100% on this. This looks like it used to be the White Lion Hotel around about the 1740s when it was built. And is it something to do with Sue Nichols, the Coronation Street actress who plays the character of Audrey? She either lived here or was born here, in this building here. It's, I believe it's a Grade 2 listed building, but now it's all flats. It was created into flats in 1997. So, well, what we're going to do now is just go along. This is a bit of New Street. We'll probably come back down New Street, but the road ahead of me now is Church Street. We'll go as far as we can along Church Street, if you like. This is the Lich Gate to St Lawrence's Church. Can't get much of a view of the church from this vantage point, but we can go around the rear and it looks far better. Okay, this is Church Street, just a bit further up between New Street and, it was probably along this side actually. Back in the turn of the century, it used to have a market along both sides of Church Street. Didn't prove very popular. They moved the outdoor market down into King Street. Just here we've got a Catholic church built here, but back in the day, maybe turn of the century, 1910s, 20s, there used to be a drill hall. Drill halls were quite a popular building in many towns. very few of them left now. We had one in West Brom in Carter's Green. There's a florist, and we've got Sydney Webbs, the funeral directors. His main building is up in Wednesbury, in Upper High Street. There's Middleton's, the chip shop. I don't think it's the original Middleton's. They've probably still kept the name. I remember Middleton's have about half a dozen chip shops around these area, but I don't think it's Middleton's anymore. I could be wrong, but it's still got the name, L&S Middleton. Street, we've got the Green Dragon, one of the great survivors of all the pubs up and down these roads in Darlaston. The Green Dragon's still standing. You can see where there's an M&B light just above an arched door. Probably that was the main entrance to the pub, but now you can see it's just there where that door's open. And we've got Bilston Street just here to my left. There's a business centre out there, Old Bank. Business centre, got Waverley Road up there, we've got Dale End ahead of me. Just where the Old Bank Business Centre was, there used to be a pub there. I think it was called the Bell, but the Bell has gone a long time. It coincided with the brewery, because down here there used to be a brewery owned by Butlers, and they knocked the pub down not long after I got the brewery. I think it was demolished around about 1946. Yeah, just there's a couple of little shops just here. We've got a grooming salon, that would be for dogs, and we've got something called the Munch Box there. That looks like it's a cafe. Bit out of the way, sort of places you'd be going out to look for. And what I'll do is I'll take you up Bilston Street. Now on this corner of Bilston Street, I'm not sure when it got demolished, but on here used to be called, they used to have a house here called the Favourite House, and it was built by Bob Smith back in 1904, and it was one of these institutions that people would flock to because you'd have lots of things going on at this place. It'd be a photographic studio, he'd sell fruit and veg, it'd be a workshop, he'd a place where you'd keep cars. He'd be Father Christmas and stand out here and give Christmas presents out on a Christmas day. Bob Smith was very well known and very popular place, this, the Favourite House. But I got this feeling that it was still here, but it looks as though it's now, well, it's certainly not what it once was. It's all been converted into flats. Not sure there's anything left of the original. We have the Darlaston Sons and Daughters of Rest, a different take on the Sons of Rest, and there is a stone plaque above the door. It's got like 1830, the Women's Conservative Hall, I think it says. So that's what it originally was. That's the first Sons of Rest I've seen with the name Daughters added to it. This is Cramp Hill. Cramp Hill had a pub just down the bottom there on the left, and it also had a school down there. Not sure if the school's still there, but there was a school down there on the left, and we've got a nursery just here. I'll carry on down here, down this particular small part of Cramp Hill, just to show you the Church of St Lawrence. It's a fine church here. We're in direct sunlight. This church, I think, was in around 1870s, but I think it was, I don't know if the building was rebuilt or the steeple was rebuilt, but there was a new building here in 1907. Here's the main entrance gates to St Lawrence Church. It's a rather big church. And I just read the board. It's got St Lawrence's Church, Darlaston. Okay, guess the car. Ahead of me now is ASDA, and I don't know, is ASDA the reason for why Darlaston Town is now a retail ghost town? This building here used to be a bank on the corner here of New Street. It's called a vegetarian food store now. This is where we leave Church Street, with Victoria Road just down there on the left, which we've just come up. And now this is King Street, the famous King Street. Not so famous as it once was, because it's effectively been destroyed. This is called the Old Bank Innovation Centre, this building. And I'll just show you some of the shops that we've got here. Just at this bit end here, we've got a New York Barbers there. This is another one of those Turkish ones that we don't like to say too much about. There's a Sahil Sweet and Snack shop and another barber shop here. I think that might be a more traditional barbers as opposed to a Turkish barbers. We've got a Scooby-Doo cafe just here, and here we've got once was a flower shop, but that's got the shutters down, but there is a flower shop next to it. And here, all on this side was once shops, all along here. And when you talk about some of the shops that used to be in King Street, and the old High Street was incredible, and it was a hive of activity, buzzing, loads of people coming up and down here doing their daily, weekly shops. Because you'd have bakers and you'd have confectioners. There'd also be things like shoe shops and tailors and butchers, greengrocers, and there's pet shops. Sainsbury's tailors used to be around here somewhere. But it was in the 70s, I believe, late 70s, when whole swathes of Darlaston started to get bulldozed to build ASDA. And then ASDA, inexplicably in the 90s, just disappeared off the scene, and nobody knew what was going on. And because they disappeared, the old town started to really go downhill financially. But the building was still standing, and the car park. But ASDA decided they wanted to come back, and in 2001 they put in planning application to build a bigger store, a bigger car park. And so what we had was more demolition, more shops was knocked down. Shops that had only been there 20 years when the original ASDA was built was demolished. We've still got some of the old Darlaston shops here ahead of me, but there aren't many. But all this side was decimated, and of course the new ASDA was up. It was in 2010, I think, when finally the council gave up on having market stalls along here. I think they do have the one from time to time privately run, and the one we've got here today is just mainly fruit and veg. We've got a bargain store there, and we've got betting shop. There's 2 or 3 betting shops in Darlaston, in King Street, and ASDA is very popular here in Darlaston. It's well frequented, and if this place decided to up sticks again, then Darlaston will be probably no more. We've got a burger van here in the centre, a couple of charity shops. You had to go hunting far and wide to get a tattoo shop at one time, but every town now's got a tattoo shop, haven't they? This one's got double fronted shop, this one. Yeah, we got Coral. What was it, about 11:30 in the morning? There's half a dozen people in there. I'm not sure what this building used to be, but it looks like it was a bank or something, but that's no longer being used. Heron Foods, that's one of the bigger names down here. And there's another, yeah, just another betting shop here. Just at the end here, there would have been a pub. I'd like to think this was the pub just here, called the Wagon and Horses. But now look, you can see it's another one of them Turkish barbers. Skin fade, haircut, hot towel shave, beard trim, desi swad. Yeah, just up here there would be 3 or 4 pubs up King Street. There'd be the Dog and Partridge, the Queen's Head. I say the Wagon and Horses, the Swan just at the top end to the right. There was a pub here on my right as well called the Black Horse, which was knocked down in the late 60s because in 1968 they replaced the Black Horse pub with the library. Now what we're going to do here, I'm just going to show you a few of the old shops that are on the other side of the Bull Steak. This is the Bull Steak here, but just ahead of me now where all these shops are would be part of Pinfold Street. Pinfold Street just goes down there, Pinfold Street, and you've got the new St Lawrence Way here, and we've got a George VI postbox. Don't see too many of them. If you look at postbox, it's usually Elizabeth Reigns. Just ahead of me used to be huge blocks of flats that used to stand there, where all these new apartments are now. These towering blocks of flats. And we're going to show you what's on the other side now. And these are the sort of shops we've got left here along this old section of Darlaston Town. And a lot of old buildings these are. A lot of them with new roofs, but we've got a Chinese takeaway, we've got a Rainbow Fish Bar. Now, aesthetics. American Nails. Urban Shadows, that's another Turkish barber. I think that one next to it's Landlords Wanted, Wedding Camera Group, Pizza Takeaway, Fresh Fade Barbers, that's his beauty spa. That building there, I'm not sure what the white building was, looks like it's flats now. Next to it the 3 Horseshoes, very old pub. It was built in 1868, was the 3 Horseshoes. I suppose in one sense it's still standing because they turned it into flats in 2011, and a bit of an eyesore right on the end here. We've got Zigzag's Hair Salon, another beauty salon and a nail bar on the corner. Extraordinarily depressing, the number of those shops that inhabit a lot of these retail areas. If we just take a look just over there on that corner, you may have to zoom in for this, but there's another barber's just down there on the right where tax shop is, general store, and then beauty hair and beauty on the corner here. There's another barber there. Yeah, there's Darlaston Road. That will take you into Wednesbury. Up there used to be the service washing machine makers. Long gone now. We've got another barber shop just up that red door. Next door to that, there's Kem and Rubin. That seems to be another hairstyling shop, but that specialises in Afro-Caribbean, and a Caribbean takeaway just there next to it. Well, this used to be the Midland Bank, or the HSBC as it was, and there's a car showroom. It's been there donkeys, that place. Okay, this is where we started, here in Picture Drone Way, and this is where we'll end our walk. We've done a kind of a circular route, and I hope you can see how appalling some of the shops are now in Darlaston. Oh my goodness, that was Darlaston Town Centre for you. This has got to be named as a ghost town for sure. When we came down King Street, one of the main areas of the shopping these days, there wasn't many people there at all. They were all in ASDA, obviously. Has ASDA been a force for good for Darlaston? Because I don't live in Darlaston, I don't know what the people's feelings and thoughts are about this particular area. So yeah, it's. I think I should really call this video a Halloween special, really, simply because it's such a horror show. Some of the historical buildings, when I named the fire station as for one of them, and that's just gone. practically it's falling apart. The favourite house on the corner of Bilston Street, I just got it in my mind that was still there, but it's not there no more, is it? It's all been knocked down. Surely it's just flats, apartments. I thought they could have converted that into apartments and flats. The police station is Grade 2 listed, but it's not a police station anymore. A lot of these old late Victorian stations have all been closed to the police now, and we've got a couple of green space areas. They don't look too bad. There's some play area for the kids, but looking around where all the pubs have gone, no real restaurants at all. There's nothing really to do here in Darlaston. Darlaston, if you want anything to do, they've got to move from here, travelling to Warsaw or travelling to the city. There's just nothing here to do at all. And also, of course, just those old shops just along Pinfold Street. Everyone was a barber. Well, practically everyone was a barber and a nail salon and a beauty shop. How many of these shops do we need in any of our Black Country towns? It's really an utter joke. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. If you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.